Good afternoon and welcome. My name's Cary and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the United Kingdom. Oh, sorry. Let me just see if it's going live. If you can see or hear me, could you give me a thumbs up, please? Oh, now it's all going to kaput. I don't know what's happening. Oh dear. Oh well, we'll find out soon enough. It'll either work or it won't. It's got a choice. Somebody might be watching. If you could let me know. Okay, here we go. So this week I'm going to be sharing using one of the new stamps from the January to April mini catalogue from Stampin' Up. Sorry, I get very confused when I'm doing these things. And now it's just flashed up slow connection, so it's all going to be bad. I know it all. Hi Lisa, how are you, honey? Happy New Year's. So yes, Woolly Friends. I'm going to be using Woolly Friends from the upcoming mini catalogue because it's what I'm also using for Kevin's winter online retreat. And it's still not too late to sign up for the retreat if you're into it. Hi Lynn. I'm going to turn the camera around so we can have a looky-see at all these things and then we can crack on. I've got a fun one for you today. Let's just swip it and swap it. Here we go. Okay, this is my little advert for Creations by Kevin. I'm one of the 30+ demonstrators. I was invited to take part in this event and I have to say it is going to be epic. It's a big deal. I mean, the guy's been a demo for 30 years. Come on. There are 36+ of us doing presentations from all over the world and they're all recorded, so it's lifetime access, which I think is very handy, particularly as the price is so good. Here in the UK I think it works out, I want to say about £43, plus you have to pay £5 PayPal fee, but I still think for 50+ presentations, which 6 of them are going to be live over the weekend of the 30th to the 1st of Feb, and there are even presentations going on in the exclusive Facebook group every Thursday with Kevin from now till then. So want any more info, give me a shout. But this is what I am using on my presentation and I just had so much fun playing with it. I'm going to have to play with it again today. It's called Woolly Friends. It's in the new packaging from Stampin' Up. So it's a photopolymer stamp set, which as you can see, they do stain, but they still work beautifully. And this little beauty comes with a punch. Now I love a punch. Punches are what I first fell in love with. I never forget the first Christmas after I'd found Stampin' Up, I asked for money so that I could buy all the punches they had. And I pretty much still have all of them too, bar one. I sold one, regretted it forever, so I don't sell them. But this guy is called Woolly Friends, and of course they're sheeps. So what am I going to pair him with? He's not a suite, he's just a bundle. I've done him with all sorts, but today I'm going to be pairing him with some beautiful paper that is an online exclusive called Splashes of Sparkles. It's 12 by 12. The colours are Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Daffodil Delight, Highland Heather, Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, Shaded Spruce, Timid Tiger, Gold and Holographic. So let's have a look. Sorry, my teacup is in the way. Can't craft without a cuppa. I have to have a good slug every now and again. Now, let's see if I can... There we go, that's better. Love this. I think this paper is great because we can stamp on this This is going to be super, super good for those quick cards when you need something. I don't blame you. You're going to love it, Lisa. This, you can stamp onto it. You can add texture. You can add colour. Oh, amazing. But wait till you see the other side. Look at this. How about that for in your face? Isn't it amazing? Look at the colours. It picks up all the colours around you. It's gorgeous. I love it. So that's one sheet. The next is this lovely shades of blues and greens in a nice diagonal bold stripe. But again, wait till you see the other side. Isn't it pretty? I love iridescence, so this holographic really appeals to me. It's beautiful, and I like pinks and purples. So there we go. Now this one looks very subtle. Bring it up a little bit, see if you can see any more on it. It's kind of swirly in the pattern. It's obviously all pink, but look at this side. Oh, pinks, blues, purples, gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. And of course some of this, look at that holographic going to town there. Lovely. And then we have this one. Now if you do the Stampin' Up monthly challenge, this month is a sketch, and Sarah shared a card for this challenge using this paper, and she cut all of these bits out and relayed them, which I thought was a really good idea. I hadn't thought of that, but I did think this would make a super scrapbook page, so that might be coming up to a scrap club near me soon. Right, a bit like that. And the reverse, oh, look at this. Pink, orange, gold, white, love it. Beautiful, beautiful paper. And then this, oh, I love rainbows. This just looks so gorgeous. And if you look at it a certain way, does that not look like Mickey ears to you? I've got Mickey ears going on here in my head, and there was another one. But that's just, oh, and a purple with a blue, or two purples, yeah, that's Mickey. And then if we turn it over, look at that. Gold and a rainbow. Perfect. Perfect. So that's why I picked these papers, and why they are fast becoming one of my favourites. Not just good for a card, but a box and a scrapbook and maybe a mini album. I don't know. What would you use it for? What's your instant reaction to this? Is it your kettle of fish or not? So what am I actually... Oh, I've got some other newbie things to show you. These are actually part of the Easter suite. They little tiny Easter eggs, pink gingham Easter eggs, and they're called Easter Assortment. But it was these blue dots that drew me to it for today's card. And this beautiful balmy blue gingham. I love me some gingham, and it's a nice size and weight, and it folds beautifully and gives gorgeous bows. No trouble at all, like that. So we might use it, we might not, but I thought I'd just pick it out anyway. So let's crack on with what we're actually going to make today. I have decided what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this paper because I really do like it, but I'm going to pair it up with some Highland Heather because I like in these cloudy bits there appears to be some Highland Heather going on there. So let's make the card base first. So I've got a standard book opening C6 card base, so that's 21 centimetres by 14.85, scored at 10.5. And I'm now going to cut myself a piece of patterned paper, and my patterned paper is going to be 14.4 high we won't waste this, I promise. It will go and become something useful later. By 20 centimetres. So that's what it is now. So it's 20 by 14.4, and we're going to score that at 10 centimetres. Now, this style of card Lynn may be familiar with. Oh, sorry. Hi, Kay. I love this paper. I think it's gorgeous. Look at it. What's not to love? So, I've scored it in half, and now I'm just going to fold it and make sure it's in the right place, and use my bone folder to go give it a nice score line there. So we've got a nice score. We're going to go on both sides because we want this to stay nice, and we're going to keep it folded. Okay, so we're going to bring in a pencil, and we're actually going to work on the other side. So we're going to put the side we're going to end up showing on the inside. And the reason for that is because I want to draw, and I'm not keen to mark the holographic point. So what am I drawing? Okay, so I'm going to line up. I'm going to put the 10.5 centimetre line along the top, and I'm going to line up at 2 centimetres, and I'm going to use my pencil just to draw a line down. Oh, my nose is itchy now. Okay, got my line drawn, and the line is on the open part. I'm then going to go in, and I'm going to score at, I'm just going to double check that measurement, make sure I get this right. Don't want to do it wrong. So I'm going to score it at, I'm not going to score it at all. I'm going to cut it at 2.5 centimetres. But I'm only going to cut down to my drawn line. So we're going to go down to there. Oh, I've gone a bit over. Not to worry. I'm not worrying about it. But this time I'm going to go up to the score line because I'm cutting through the folded side. There we go. And now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it back the way I want it to be, like that. And I'm going to take the open end this time across to the 2 centimetres, and I'm going to score. I'm going to take my score blade and I'm going to score from the cut edge to the cut edge. So it's going to go from 2 down to there. So I've I've scored all the way down there. I'm then going to turn this round and go to 4 centimetres and again score in the centre. Now, centre is the key word here. Yes, this is the basis of a centre stepper card, but it's not going to be a stepper card. I'm going to create something different with it. So I'm going to straight away take my trimmer away, and we're going to do some folding. So that's the cut sides, the score lines. Let's open it up, and we're going to start at the top, and our first score line is going to be a mountain. Now, as this is patterned paper, DSP, if you're a Stampin' Up person, it's scored all the way through. If it's not, you might want to turn it round and score from both sides, but the score lines are exactly the same, 2 and 4 centimetres. And then I'm going to rotate and do exactly the same, and 4. Now I'm going to push the centre score line in, and I'm going to push these out. I'm going to reinforce those folds going back the other way. Why do I do this? Well, I like my score lines to have plenty of flexibility, and one of the ways to do that is to fold them in both directions. So there we have a piece of paper that we've scored and cut. So now I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to bring in my bone folder and get those score lines really in place, lining up the edges and the tops and the sides so that everything's right. Over you go. Oh, careful that you don't do what I just did. You want to be a bit careful. And there we have it. That is the part for our card. Now I've lost where I put my card base. Where did the card base go? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so very simple. All we're going to do, we're going to take our glue. Now I would normally use wet glue, but because of this foiling, I'm not sure if that will take wet glue or not. So I'm going to use, where's it gone? I'm going to use something I don't use very often, which is a Stampin' Seal. If you're using foil paper or anything like that, I have to say, let's get this thing working. Oh, it's working. I found the glue. I have to say that the Stampin' Seal is brilliant for it because it's a dry adhesive. And it's very sticky. And you probably can't see. Oh, maybe you can. I've just put adhesive down here, across here and here. And then I'm going to take this part and have it on the outside. These two score lines, centre folds, are going to go to the middle of my card. Now I'm just going to line this guy up. Ugh, it's so sticky, my fingers are getting in sticky. I'm going to make sure I try and get this as centred as I can. And the score line of both parts are together. I'll fold it over and close. And that is partly done. And we're going to repeat on the other side. Now it'll be easier this time because I don't have to manhandle it as much. I say that, I'm hoping it'll be as easier. So it's in place, I just have to close the card base down onto it. Let's put the lid back on there so I don't get any fluff on it. And there we have our card base. Look at that. Don't you like the way it pops out? It reminds me of a book, but I just liked the way it popped out and I thought that was so much fun. So, what am I going to do now? All right, next we're going to do some stamping. We're going to bring in our fluffy friends, our woolly friends, and some white cardstock. And we're going to stamp ourselves some sheeps. And we're going to use Highland Heather. And I've forgotten to get the pink ink out, so let me just lean across here for a moment. You probably will see my arm, I do apologise. Ah! Why does it always have to be the one that is furthest away? So we've got pretty and pink, that'll do nicely. So we're going to have some nice pink and purple sheeps, or sesame seeds as we call them in my family. And let's grab a couple of blocks and the punch. Now I like to stamp and punch as I go. Some people, and I have heard this works really well, they like to put that in, punch that out, and then they can line up all the pieces. I don't have as much success with that personally, but you do you, and if it works for you, go for it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sheep one at a time in a row along the bottom, and I'll post them in and punch them out. So we're going to have a pink sheep. First off, tap, 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 straight down, hold for 3 and off. And then I'm going to just grab a wet cloth, clean that briefly, and I'm going to open up my Highland Heather ink pad. So we're going to have pink and purples sheeps. Should we do another one just to be on the safe side? Should we do a blue one as well? Why not? I'm leaving these open because I will be we'll do a balmy blue one as well. I will be stamping their heads in a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have my 3 sheep. Clean that stamp off. Pop that back on the acetate so I know where it lives. Won't need that size again. I'll be using the smaller one. But now what I am going to do is very quickly just take that like that. So I created a strip. And I'm going to post my strip. Can you see the space here? I'm going to post my strip through, line it up. And the nice thing about going backwards like this is you can gently squeeze it into place when it's in the right place or the place you want it to be, and it all pops up. So there's one sheep body. Well, the back of a sheep. It's got no head. Hi Lena, welcome. How's the weather in Canada? It's damp, dismal and dark here in the UK. Well, my part of the UK anyway. I don't know about UK and Lynn, but the weather last night was atrocious. Purple sheep. And as these bits go, you can post them through and it gives you something to hold on to. Gives you a handle. Now, if you have trouble with your hands, you're arthritic, or you don't have a lot of strength in your hands, you can, as you can see, I've got this less raining. Ugh. I don't like the rain. I'm a cat, I'm a Leo. I've got this resting on the tabletop, but it's actually my glass cutting mat. And as you can see, I can now use 2 hands to get that into position. And when it's where I want it, I'm just going to gently push it down, start to push it down so that it's in the right place, and then I can push with my whole hand, and I know that that's going to cut beautifully. So let's get rid of these little bits out of the punch. We don't need those and they'll just cause chaos. But we're going to need the punch again in a minute. So we've got 3 little, they look like little fluffy bums. Okay, so let's bring back our strip of paper from last time, and we're going to take our sheep's head and we're going to repeat the process. We're going to have a pink. 1, 2, 3. Clean it. We're going to have a purple, and we're leaving quite a gap because when we go to put this in, we need to be aware that this is going to punch to that line. So can you zoom in a bit please? Yes, love. Oh, wrong way. Is that better? So when you go if you line up, there's a line there, so keep that in mind. So I would want to stamp there. So that's going to be a decent gap between them. It's better to have more space than not enough. 1, 2, 3, and we've done our purple. Final, let's do our blue. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Rosalind. And again, we're going to keep, it's like a finger space. You know, when you were at school learning to write, you had to do finger spaces. Well, we did. I don't know about you guys. So that's my sheep's heads. And we're going to pop that back and we're going to punch these guys out. So again, in from the side, line up neatly. Sorry, I'm going quiet when I'm concentrating. And pep. It'll blow all the way up. As I said, if you're clever enough to do the tip about lining up, punch out the whole punch at one time, line up and go out, that's really quite handy. I'm not really that good, so I prefer my way, but you do you make it, it's your project, your product, you make it how you want it to be and do what suits you. Again, if it's too strong, you're not strong enough, put your hand on the top and push down. And you like my teddy PJs. Aren't they cute? And they came from Walmart. I went to the States in November and I had an amazing trip, and I do love a bit of Walmart. I don't know, it's just fun. Okay, so we have our sheep's heads. Now, should we give them some bows? I think they need some bows, and they come with bows or bells. I like the little bow, so we're going to start with the outline of the bow. I should have a smaller block here somewhere. Oh, that's a bit smaller, that'll do. I don't like to have too big a block. And we're going to start with blue this time. And we're going to go blue, pink, and we're going to find out where our bow is. Our bow is down here. So I'm just going to do those on there, and I'm going to bring in a scrap of cardstock for the purple bow. This is Highland Heather, one of my favourites. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the other nice thing about this stamp set is it's a bit of a two-step stamp. And what does a two-step stamp? Well, a two-step stamp is you have the outline, which we've just stamped, and you have the infill. So there's the outline of my bow, and this is the infill of my bow. I'm going to take it, I'm going to start with the Highland Heather, and I'm going to stamp off half and position it over the top. Can you see how that's coloured? So we've gone from an outline and we've filled in the colour. And then we're going to do the same again with the pink and the blue. The pink I'm using is Pretty in Pink. And again, the only thing I would say is lining up with the camera up your nose is not the easiest thing to do. So please try it at home without a camera. So we go for the balmy blue, off to reactivate the ink, line up, and we're coloured. So simple, no colouring in this time. But do remember to put these little stamps back on the sheet, because you really don't want to lose them. And they have another cute little stamp on there that I thought was adorable, the little butterfly. I always put my cover back on so that nothing sticks to them. And let's get these punched out. So we're going to strip off some of this, because we don't need that. We might actually need to bring some scissors in, because we're going to tuck this right up in that corner. Can you see how that's not fitting in? So all I need to do is trim that down there like that, put it back in and turn it around until it's in the right place. It's upside down. It's totally in the wrong place. Huh, how rubbish am I? Okay. Now it's up the right way. Okay. So now let's move that so it's in the right place. Oh, and that moved as I moved. Go back, do that again. No, that's gone again. Oh, my hands are getting a bit shaky now. Come on, you got this, girl. Hopefully it worked. Make sure you turn over all these little bits, because these little bits fly everywhere when you're doing this, and the number of times I have thrown away part of something that I was punching out. It's heartbreaking when it happens. You do something so, and I can see, look, do you see, I didn't leave enough gaps, so we'll have to redo that one. That's okay, it's not a problem. We've always got more card, haven't we? So let's do this one again. Let's do the Highland Heather this time. There we go. And let's do the blue one. We'll do it all again. So we've got the outline and the infill, and we're going to do blue. So let's cut that off of there. And we're going to do the outline. 1, 2, 3. Clean that off. Pop that back in the packet. And do the infill. And this time, 1, 2, 3, we're going to off stamp 1, 2, 3, huff to reactivate and line that back up. And we're going to go over there. Done. Whew. Okay, so these sheep are, the only thing I will say is, if you want your sheep to be prancing around, you do have to fussy cut, but they're not particularly difficult to fussy cut, I promise. Now, Lynn is not a fussy cutter. Kay is becoming one, but put them up the right way, Cary. But I love fussy cutting. I don't know about the rest of you, but I know that Kay's okay with it, and Lynn does it, but prefers not to. There we go. Let's have a little bit of a tidy up. Nice thing about these punches, open, close, lock, very easy to store. So let's close up these ink pads. I'm not going to be leaving them open for things to fall in and spoil my project. Let's clear up some of the mess and get our project going. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of colour to my sheep with my trusty, I could use blends actually, let's use blends. Are you a blends person? Do you like blends? I'm going to use Pretty in Pink, Balmy Blue and Highland Heather. And I'm going to use the light pens for this. Now I store mine on a windowsill. It's a north-facing window, and one of the disadvantages to that is it can get chilly. You're learning, bless you. You're doing a grand job of it too. So when I open my blends, I take the lid off of both ends and I give it a little shake. The reason I do that is sometimes if it gets cold, the colour will separate out from the mica that's in there, and alcohol, sorry, and it will just spoil your work. So we don't want to do that. So we're just going to use the lines that the artist has provided us with and just add a little bit more colour really, and a few bits of our own, because I think these are so cute. We're going to add a little bit there. We're going to give them some socks. What are they called? They're not called socks at all, they're called stockings. And we're going to do the same on the head. So we're going to give them just a bit of colour inside the ears and that quiff they've got going on there. And then we're going to use the pink colour to add some little cheeks. Give them a little bit of smiley cheeks to create our sheep. So we're going to do the same again, but with the pink this time. And I'm going to give all of them a pink. Save me worrying about it. Pink cheeks. And then I'm going to colour just inside those lines there. The blends come in light and dark of nearly all of these Stampin' Up colours. Not quite 100%, but nearly. And they are a shade lighter and a shade darker than the ink colour. So when you're colouring in something like this, it just adds a nice little touch to be able to, you could go darker, you could go, I prefer to go lighter. You do you put light if that's what you want. And can you see how my little sheep is coming together? Just those simple touches, very quick and easy. No fuss, no bother. This isn't about being an artist, this is about getting the job done and looking like an artist. Final colour, blue. Oh, there, can you see? Some of the alcohol came out. It's not damaged or anything else, it's just the way that I've got them. They should be stored at room temperature. And unfortunately, my living room window, where it is north facing, so it doesn't automatically stay as warm as the rest of the living room, particularly once the curtains are drawn in the winter. So my advice is always to store them in a consistent temperature. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Okay, colouring done. It is optional, you don't need to do it. I'm just going to have a quick mouthful of drink. Put the lid on my scissors so I don't damage myself. And let's make some sheep. We're going to use, in a minute, I'm going to use some 3D foam because I am like to give my sheep a bit of character. So this is my card and my sheep are going on the inside. They would look good with wobbly heads. I might do a wobble on the front, not on the inside, but maybe on the front. So I'm going to put a blue one there and a purple one there. So let's make these guys up. Now I think these are really cool you can give them real character, you know, just by the tilt of their head. They can be looking at each other. This could be a romantic card. When you do fold this card up, make sure that you get this point here towards the opening. I could make them very romantic, couldn't I? I can be questioning and looking at each other. Let's do that. Because they're going to be on opposite sides. So she's going to go here, and he's going to go over here. And we're going to make them we're going to give them a nice bow as well, aren't we? Boys can have pretty bows too. Did you know that pink was always a boy's colour up until the 19th century? Did you know why? Well, the reason is because shades of red and pink were considered too fiery, too passionate for a woman. So boys and men wore pink. Just put that on the wrong one. Not girls. There we go. Lots of useless information coming out today. Oh, aren't they so sweet? They're so cute. Okay, we're going to do a boinger for that one, so I'm going to put that to one side. Now, we're just going to need some sentiments. What are the sentiments in this set? I like to use the whole set when I'm playing with it. You make me happy. You're simply fabulous. Fab-ewe-lous. You make me happy. I like you make me happy. Let's get that one. You make me happy. And now we have to try and find it on the sheet. I'm not very good at reading backwards and upside down. So a nice block. Particularly with outline stamps and sentiments where you want things to be straight and in the correct place, I highly recommend putting your photopolymer stamp down on the surface and then giving it a moment before you put your block on top. So let's see if, oh look, there's a smaller piece of paper there. I like to keep my scraps and I like to put them in an easy to reach pile, and I do say pile because it is in a pile beside me. Okay, sentiment. What are we going to use for our sentiment? What colour would you use for a sentiment on here? I think I'm going to go with some Night of Navy. I could go Azure Afternoon. Azure Afternoon or Night of Navy. First person to tell me, let's choose that one. I'll get that out the way. I'm just going to have a quick mouthful of my tea. Whilst you're deciding that, I'm going to have a look at some wobble heads. Wobbly wobblies, come on out. Someone has replied. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, Azure Afternoon. Okay, we're going with Azure Afternoon. And I found the wobbly bits. Okay, now these are called Action Wobbles Mini Action Springs. There are other brands and whatnot, but they are such fun. I love them. So does Kay and Debs and Lynn. So we've got a wobbler. Let's get on with our sentiment first of all. We're actually going to create this sentiment on 2 strips. And you know what? I've just spied a nice long 1 centimetre strip. Because we're going to do this in 2 sections, let's put it on there. How do I do that? Well, one way that you can split up, oh, Azure as well, then good choice, is if, as it's on a clear block, you can actually take it to the edge of your ink pad and very carefully only apply ink to that area. Now, this isn't guaranteed that it will work, but it may well do, and I can't see where the edge of that is, so let's get rid of that. 1, 2, 3. You make me happy. But it doesn't say happy yet, it says you make me. Okay, now the happy word is not going to really fit on that bit, so we're going to put him on here. And we're going to do the same in reverse, but this time, can you see? I don't know if you can see easier with my hand there or not. With the white piece behind it, there. With a piece of blue, pink. That Y is just going, hi Kathy, how are you, my love? That is going to get very close to the other letters, so I'm just going to add a little bit of low-tack tape. You can use post-it notes, you can use other things as well, just over that part of the stamp that I don't want to be inked up. So we're just covering it like that. So we're masking the stamp off. And we're just going to go back to the edge again. Make sure we get all of the letters, and can you see how that's, we would have caught that on the other part of the sentiment. So we tear that off, put that straight into the waste bin. You don't want that hanging around. Give it a huff, and 1, 2, 3. When it's round the right way, it says happy. Okay, so we've got our sentiment for the outside, for the inside. Let's close that up. And we're going to take our scissors and we're going to make that. I'm quite into these angles at the moment. I'm quite liking them. So one thing you can do when you cut an angle there is take it over this way and rotate it, so that, can you see the angle is following there, and then you know those angles marry up. So that's going to be placed on here, and we're going to use some good old green glue there, and we're going to use a, I don't know where my I've lost them. Where have they gone? They were here a second ago. How could that be possible? How could they have just disappeared? I had dimensionals. I used them. They've gone. There they are. I found them. I can't find my small ones at the minute, so I'm going to use a large one and cut it in half for the sentiment strip. This card will not fold completely flat. We've put 3D on the inside, of course it's not going to, but that's okay. So we've got you make me, and then we're going to find our happy. And this time I'm going to fussy cut round it so it has a little bit of shape to it. If I had a heart, I don't know if I have, I can't think of a place where there's a heart die at the moment, but a heart die would have been sensible for this, wouldn't it? to put it on a heart. But I can't think of one, so I'm not going to. I might do it after I've finished on here and add it in. You'll have to come back on Wednesday to see the finished thing. But you're going to have to anyway, because you're going to have to come back on Wednesday to see how it's the dimensions. So we're going to have her, and she's going to have happy there. That looks good to me. Let's get our purple sheep down. Looking coquettish across, and we're going to put a little bit of cut around the outside for that sentiment piece that I've just cut out. Always use the outside edges, waste not, want not. And we just put that on there like that. You make me happy. Pulling the edge up again. Can you see how I did that? Make sure those edges come up together, because you want them there when you're closing the card. How cute are they? Okay, let's make the front panel. Let's make something for the front so that we can use our pretty in pink sheep and our wobbler. So before we do that, let's put some paper on the front as well. So we have some of this left over, and I think that can be trimmed down nicely to fit on the front. So let's trim that up. We could use just the plain pink and the question, do we use the plain side, pink side, this side, to go on the front of our card, or do we use the pattern side, blue with the holographic splodges on it? What do you reckon? What's going to work, do you think? Whilst you're deciding that, let me know. I'll go with the first response I get. I'm going to pop my head. The question is, which side of the paper should I go with? The blue with the holographic? Thank you, Lena. Or the pink for the front? We need to know, because we're going to pop our friendly sheep onto a wobbler on the front, and we're going to add, I need a sentiment, and I think the sentiment should be, you are simply fabulous. Fab-ewe-lous. Okay, pop that down there, put that on there. I have another scrap here. Azure afternoon it is. Pattern side. Thank you, girlies. Tap, tap, tap. Straight down. 1, 2, 3. Up. This is not a fancy decorated card, but I think it's looking pretty good. I like it anyway. And we're going to have blue around the outside because there is some of that foiling in the middle. I haven't tested it yet to see if it does come through or not. I was just not taking any chances earlier. Okay, so if you do have these wobblers, they come with a solid base and a open space at the top. Thank you, Lena. So they are self-adhesive. when you can get your fingernails in. If you can't get your nails in, take your pick tool out, and we're going to pop. I would like to get that piece off there, and you can see that they are acetate. The base is a solid square core, I'll call it. It's a square with circular corners. Let's see if that'll bend now. There. So that's come off, and we're going to put our sheep in the middle because she is the focal point of our card, and we're just going to press that down. Press it and hold, and then she's got this. Can you see how that mechanism works? It's like a little coil of plastic, and it just bounces around. It's great fun. Again, take the cover off the front, and you put your piece that you want to wobble. Do you see? It's so cute and wibbly wobbly. So we're going to have that, and we're going to do a little bit of cutting for this as well. Before I do that, though, I am going to trim it a little. And I'm using my trusty guillotine, my little old guillotine. So that's there. Now that edge doesn't look particularly straight to me, so I'm going to put that in and just straighten that edge. Like, ooh. Is that straight, or is it my eyes have gone wobbly? No, that's not straight, so we put that back. That's the problem up there. I'll probably keep going until it ends up as slither. There we have it. And we're going to use a little bit of the Highland Heather as a little mat. So I'll bring in my guillotine again. That's at 1, 2, so that needs to be 2 centimetres, 2.5 centimetres. And just adding a little border around it. Just so it stands out on the blue. It looks like clouds, doesn't it? As I'm looking at it, it's like a watercolour wash across the background. But it looked like a cloud as it caught the light there. There we go. There's our sentiment. Let's trim that piece off. We will do some 3D foam on there, but I think we'll also put about some of that ribbon. Let's use some of this. Pink eggs aren't going to work, but we can have a nice bow on there, can't we? So this is how I do a bow. There are lots of ways. This is my go-to way. 2 loops, round, through, up, bring that piece down, and then rearrange until you've got something you like. I don't want it too big, so I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to just cut the ends into some little fishtails. It's quite narrow, so fishtails, snake teeth, well, I don't know what you call them. Do you use a lot of ribbon? I don't, and that is one of my things for this year. Is I love buying it, I just don't use it very much. So that's one of the things I want to do this year. Oh, up the right way would be good. I'm going to pop that on there like that. Okay, so let's have some glue. we're going to keep this bit flat because our ribbon is quite dimensional. I'm going to pop that just so she's sitting on top. Can you see she's still there? Line up using your grid paper to get as straight as you can. A glue dot for the bow. And put the bow on the corner like that. Now I do have something here. One colour. Ah, there they are. How about some of these guys? Shall we use some of those? These are the frosted iridescent dots. I don't know if they're still available. They're very pretty. So, over here. Look at the mess. I'm making a huge mess. Am I going to go, or shall I? Now, what do you think? Purple, clear, pink, blue. I think purple for me. Purple it is. I've made a decision. And I'm just going to randomly scatter them all over the place because we're going to town with this. Now let's enjoy it whilst we can. And there we have the front of our card. So let me just move these things out of the way a bit. Okay, so there she is, our wibbly wobbly sheep on the front of the card, saying you're simply fabulous, you, and you make me happy with this beautiful, beautiful paper. Fabulous. The fun fold is really super simple, and the actual fold itself can be used in so many different ways. I thought it was very fun. So this is the one I've made now, and here is the sample I made for myself earlier to make sure it all worked together. And on this one you've got this. Deep breath. You've got this. This is using that beautiful Hobby Haven papers with the spar papers on it. Isn't it fun? There we go. That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've had half the fun I've had, because I've really enjoyed making it. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. If you need any information about Kevin's online retreat, please message me anytime between, I think the closing date is actually the 29th, Thursday the 29th of January, so you still have time to join in, and I'd love to see you there. And if you want, I know that a couple of other people are using the Woolly Friends as well, so there should be lots of inspiration on there for you. Take care, look after yourselves. Bye bye.